So if someone can start the process, Teresa, if you don't mind, and I'm going to pick on you, if you could just let me know kind of what you're hoping to get out of today, and then I'm going to try to go live on Facebook as well. So if you want to start the ball for me, that would be awesome.
So I've used Facebook and Facebook ads in another business. I have not used it for real estate.
Okay.
And so I'm looking at it for a couple of different ways. I'm looking for inspiration, maybe some innovation. I'm looking at compliance. What are we allowed to do? What aren't we allowed to do?
Okay.
Yeah, strategy, inspiration.
Okay, awesome. Anybody else want to tackle what they're hoping to get out today? Lucy, I'm going to pick on you. I saw you earlier.
I just don't like, good morning. I'm not too fond of being on Facebook Live. That's all. It's all good.
Okay.
Always need to keep on learning. I have, I know we have videos there and all this, but when I come live and follow, it stays in me and I can go quicker.
Okay.
So I need all the help I can get, always.
We all do.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My camera doesn't work, but you know what I look like. It's all good. Well, I am just touching bases. I had that call was really good with Zach Younger yesterday. I learned a couple things that I didn't know, but for me, it's just about getting familiar again, because when I was working with Robert, he did most of this stuff. So when you don't do it very often, it takes a while to get back in the groove.
No, I completely understand. Understand. Thank you, Jeannie.
Yeah, nice to see you, love.
Likewise. Anyone else? Crystal, you want to let us know? And then I'm going to be ready to go. I just need to do one more thing on the Facebook Live.
Well, this is something that I know I should be doing, and I want to get the introduction to do it properly.
Awesome. Anyone else? Nope. Okay, so we're going to get started. Let me share my screen and make sure I share the sound. Okay. So we're going to do two parts. Can you all see my screen? I just want to make sure. Okay, awesome.
Yes.
And you can still see it?
Yep.
Okay, so this is going to be about Facebook fundamentals. And so what I'm going to do is share some techniques that I've learned in my 15 plus years in marketing, as well as what I've seen top agents in the region do as it relates to Facebook. So we're going to tackle two parts. We're going to tackle the first part is going to be marketing tips. And then the second part of it is going to be fundamentals for an effective, I should add that, but I'm going to add it now in terms of fundamentals for a Facebook ad. So we're going to take a look at cover pages, what works, what does not work, and then talk about kind of the strategies behind your post. And so those are going to be the buckets of what we're going to focus on today. So as it relates to marketing tips, there are key things that marketing companies and people that utilize any social media platform, there are several tips that I want to keep in mind, and I'm going to give you some time to write these down, and then they will also be at a week at a glance. I'll get this out. So the first part of it is who. A lot of times, and I'm going to take a step back, one of the things that many new marketing, kind of the nuances of marketing, they're asking you to, or they're going to be referring to an avatar. So raise your hand if you've heard people in the marketing world refer to an avatar, a client avatar. Okay, yes. So you want to make sure you understand what a client avatar is this, meaning that for all of you, most of you probably have some sort of niche in the real estate game in terms of what you excel at best. And whatever that is, it is crucial and helpful to be able to have an avatar, a client avatar, your ideal client. So you can make this as visual as you want. For me, for what I do, I have visualized my ideal client based on what I know that I do best. And so I've created this fictitious person that has a name, she has a job, she has a family. What I'm doing is, because I'm getting really dialed down in that avatar, it helps me market to my ideal client better so that I have more of a level of engagement. Part of the reason why Robert and I decided to have this class go back into Facebook and Instagram is because some of the things that I've increased in my marketing, I've actually increased my marketing engagement and ability to sell to my ideal client 30 to 40%. That's huge. That's a game changer for anyone. So I'm sharing these techniques that I am doing currently for my business and that I also see top agents doing. So again, understanding the who, it's very important. Who is your target audience? Who is your ideal client? You have to know that before you start your marketing campaign, because otherwise it's going to be like my good friend Robert talks about, throwing spaghetti at the wall. It's not going to stick, or you're going to do a whole bunch of things. You want to be very strategic in what you're doing. So the next thing is going to be what? What do you need, or what do they need? And so the other thing that I want to take a step back is notice that all of this is geared towards what the client wants or what the client needs. So the what do they need? Addressing that clearly. The why do they need it? So you know what they need, but why do they need it? When do they need it? Where is it, and why is it important to them? That with them, what's in it for me? So making sure you understand those things before you ever get out of the gate for advertising. And then follow up. What are you going to follow up with them about? How does that look? Is there a form? Is there a call, or whatever it is? So what you want to do is, before you begin to write your first post, understand all of these things first, and then have a strategy behind. At the very beginning, you have a strategy for what you're going to do. Then the bottom thing, and the most important as it relates to marketing tips, is keep your potential client in mind at all times. Everything you publish, everything you do ought to circle back to that ideal client. So I want to take a stop there, because what I want to do is kind of gauge the room and see how many of you are consistently doing this in your marketing strategy. How many of you see the value in that? Does anyone want to comment on the value of doing this before you actually get started? Because sometimes we just say, oh, I need to get something out on Facebook, but you have to take the time to be very strategic about what you're doing. Comments? Teresa, go ahead.
I do this with a content calendar. So
Yeah.
I have this all laid out, and then I look at the month, and I look at what holidays, what weird things are on, and I apply this to each one so that I have a consistent voice.
Exactly. And that's the key. I want to emphasize that you have to have a consistent voice, because if you are inconsistent in your marketing strategy, your potential client is going to see that. You have to communicate one voice, one message, and you have to do it time and time and time again. It doesn't mean that you cannot talk about other things. It just needs to make sure that you are consistent in what you're doing, because the minute that you become inconsistent, that's the minute that you fall down from a marketing standpoint. Other comments or questions, or, other people that have done this strategically, and give me some feedback in terms of how does it work, or how is it working? Anyone else? No? Okay. So fundamentals of the business, the Facebook ads, and then we're going to get into actually creating an ad. So the first thing is about the business page. You should have a business page. If you don't have a business page, we're actually going to take a look at an actual business page from one of a top producer in Keller Williams. And then within that business page, we're going to talk about a technique shortly that what I would encourage you to do. And then number 2, cover page. For those of you that have taken classes with me or I've trained, talked to you one-on-one, your cover page is crucial. And oftentimes your cover page is an opportunity for a soft marketing ploy or touch. What I mean by that is this. Typically, many people, and this is across the board, it's not just with realtors, it's across the board. Many people, when they create their business page, they create their cover page and they never touch it again. Your cover page needs to speak to the climate or the situation that you're in now, meaning this. Cover pages are meant to be changed, making sure that they're current and up to date, whether that be based on holiday, whether that be based on quarterly things that are going on or what's hot in the market. Utilize your cover page to maximize your message and your effectiveness. Another thing for cover pages is, I'm also going to show you this as an example. I would encourage you to consider adding a call to action to your cover page. Call to action meaning, what do you want your ideal client to do? So making sure that you have that in your cover page. I see a lot of cover pages. I also look throughout the region of Keller Williams, and I see a lot of people with cover pages, and they've got beautiful imagery, but they're not telling the potential clients to call me or, I'm your resource or whatever. So we're going to take a look at that as well. And then the other thing is having that first or second post directly tied to your Facebook marketing campaign. For example, if you decide that you've got a listing, it's hot, you want to get rid of it, you want to make sure everyone knows what's going on, before you actually do that post, think about it in a linear, very logical standpoint. What are some precursors, pre-posts that are teasers that get you to like the big reveal of the listing? So maybe you want to highlight, the neighborhood. Or do something unique. So whatever unique factor is in that neighborhood, or whatever the unique factor is in that home, build up to your campaign. So don't just let your campaign start, but build up to it. Make sure there's a crescendo so that you're got your people that are like waiting, you're just anticipating, oh my goodness, she's going to do something. Or, just really quick teaser posts to actually, it's almost like a mini commercial. Think about those strategies and concepts when you're getting ready to advertise for a listing or whatever it is you're going to do. The other thing, the plan, making sure that you have that strategic plan. What's the first thing you're going to do? The second thing you're going to do? That's all tied to this strategy or this, whatever your goal is, making sure that you've got a clear plan and then follow up, making sure that you identify the follow-up before you actually launch the campaign. So the business page, we're going to take a look at one, also talk about a cover page, and then we're also going to get into the first, the 1 or 2 posts before the actual campaign. Comments or questions before we go to the next phase with a concrete example?
No, this is really good, especially in looking at it from switching it to real estate.
Right. Yes. And that's exactly what we're doing. It's all going to be hopefully helping you so you can see it in your day-to-day operations. Okay. Bio tip. I also see this, and when I look at across the region of what agents are doing, this bio tip is huge. Most of the time you create a one and done. You create your bio and then you never circle back on it again. A bio is meant to be relevant to what's going on. So my question to you is, when is the last time you revisited your social media bio? I want to hear from you. When's the last time you revisited this? Hello, hello, hello. Anybody out there, out there, out there?
We have not revisited it.
Oh,
And I'm setting up the real estate side, so I'm visiting it now. How's that?
awesome. Anyone else?
Yeah, I actually just made a change, but I don't do it nearly often enough because I was celebrating my anniversary in real estate last month. So it's no longer last month. So I made that change, but I think it's really good to tie something really current into that.
Exactly.
You know, you can leave the basics, but a little something current just to.
Exactly. You want to have something that's a little current, that's a little up to date. You know, it could be just a play on words. It could be something very simple. Very good point. Anyone else? Anthony, when's the last time you revisited your bios on your social platforms?
I'm pretty current with it. I do that on the Facebook and LinkedIn.
Good. Anyone else? Evelyn, how often or when's the last time? You there?
Hi.
Hi, when's the last time you revisited your bio?
Sorry, long time ago.
So yes,
I actually,
Alone.
yeah, actually, Natasha, I have to sit down and do all this new Kelly app. I do need to do a lot.
yes,
I need to
we are
come
here
and
to help.
see.
We're here. So I don't want to, and I do want to take a step back. I don't want to overwhelm you. That's not the goal. The goal is just to make sure that you are doing little things, even if it's just one word or a phrase that you're tweaking, just to make sure, like Jeannie said, it's relevant, it's current, it's up to date. All right.
Got it.
So
I'll
here-
need to come and see you.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's a couple of things that I've seen that not only have worked for me, and you know that I can't count now because I got 2 twice. But trust me, I can. It's a little joke. But so this is what has worked for me, and this has worked for the industry marketing strategy, and the industry, and what I've seen from high producing realtors, specifically in this region and beyond. So you want to keep it short, number one. Number two, you want to make it visually appealing. That goes back to the words, making sure you've got adjectives, action words, so people can actually visualize what you're saying to them. It should be number three. You want to answer the most important with them. What's in it for me? When someone looks at your bio, what's in it for them? Are you doing what for them? If you're touting yourself or you're projecting yourself or advertising yourself as a resource, make sure that's clear. If you are the leading industry expert, then make sure that's clear. If you're the queen of, relationships, say that, be current and contemporary on that. And then number four, include a call to action. It's so pivotal that you have that call to action. You can say all of these great things about what you can do, but then say, call me, let's chat. Or, I recently updated my IG feed in terms of adding, let's chat. And then I added a chat emoji. That's another thing. We talk about it, both Robert and I, all the time. Even if you don't like emojis, it helps you with your bio, especially on social media platforms, i.e. LinkedIn, Facebook. By the way, if you haven't heard this, for those of you that are on LinkedIn, there is, in terms of utilizing LinkedIn and having exposure, recent studies have showed that the more engagement you have on LinkedIn, the more longevity you have. And so for those of you that are on LinkedIn, keep using it because it's working. If those of you that are not on LinkedIn, if you want to consider it, do what works for you. But for those of you that are on LinkedIn, keep using it because people are starting to utilize more and more LinkedIn. So making sure you have that call to action, adding emojis. Like I said, even if you're not familiar with it or you don't like it personally, it does work from a search engine optimization standpoint. It increases your ranking. And then a little humor goes a long way. I mean, especially with everything that's going on today, sometimes we all need a little laughter. Just as a side note, you know, I already decorated my house for Christmas because I just need that holiday cheer, and my car is decorated with my reindeer. I'm just ready to go for Christmas. So if that offends you, I'm so sorry, but Merry Christmas. But just a little humor, it goes a long way. And then revisit it often. And I said that before, but I can't stress it enough. Just make sure that you revisit your bio. Comments or questions? Anything, any clarifying thing I need to revisit? Nope. Okay. So another thing is Facebook cover page. We're actually going to take a look at Team Lolly's Facebook page. And we're going to talk through that because I think it's awesome. I think it hits all of the marks as it relates to marketing. And then we're actually going to get into the actual Facebook ads. So let's get into that. So let me get out of here. And that. Here. That's not the one I want. Sorry. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure I'm not shifting too much. And then you can see Team Lolly's Facebook.
No.
No, we just
No.
see like two signs, you know, like a smiley and.
Okay, so hold on. Let me go back to share again. And this one. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So what I love about this is this. If you have videos are king, queen, whichever vernacular you want to use, making sure that you're integrating video. The one thing I love about their website or their Facebook page is they update this periodically based on what's new or what they want to communicate. So videos are king, queen, whichever way you want to say that, but they're huge. And so it's a short video. It talks about their partnership. They have a clear call to action. And this generates a lot of leads for them because what they did is before they launched this, going back to that marketing strategy, which I went back and looked at it, they had some pre-primer posts before they got to this cover page where they talked a little teaser about what this was going to be about. And so they did like one or two posts and then they changed their cover page. Changing your cover page periodically goes a long way. So then let's take a look at, let's see if I can get to where I want to go.
So you think it's best to have a video on your cover page?
So I think it's great to have a video. I mean, I would go between. I wouldn't say, you know, all video, but what I would say is don't be afraid of video. So if you got a short video that's impactful, it says who you are, it talks about, you know, what you can do. I would encourage you to cycle through that video. I try to do, at least for me personally, I try to do videos at least once or twice a year. However you want to do it, whatever works for you, you can do it more or less. I typically will try to do videos at least from a social media standpoint. I will try to do a video at least every 2 weeks on the actual post. But then when it comes to cover page, I would at least sprinkle some videos throughout. You don't necessarily have to go all video, but I would say mixing it up a little so it's more stagnant in terms of a photo and then maybe a video. And then, you know, just kind of cycle it through, do what works for you. But I would say at least have one or two throughout the year.
Interesting. I didn't even realize that you could put a video on that.
Yes, you can actually put a video on it. So
know that.
So you could just hover over where you normally would hover in terms of changing your cover page. And then it does, and it's been recent, you can actually add a video to it. In terms of changing your cover page. And then it does, and it's been recent, you can actually add a video to it. Oh, yeah, somebody I think is listening on live, so sorry. So yeah, so you can
Two of you.
definitely add video. So I say that would be a game changer. It'd be huge. Any other comments or questions about the video part of the cover page? So then here, it go down to about. So again, it just has their basic information, which all of this is standard. And then they have their mission on here. It's very short to the point. And then about me says your number one. I'm underneath where it says more information. And you'll see this when you create your Facebook page, and you'll see like where it says edit bio, and then you can edit more information. So more information, it says your number one Hawaii real estate team. Every team member has an expertise to better serve clients in all aspects of the real estate. That's huge. When you choose Adrienne Lally, you not only have a fantastic top producing agent, but you also gain an abundance of resources. So you can wordsmith this however you want. But the key things I love about this is that, you know, they've got the hashtag #1, which is also going to help trend their Facebook. They've got very specific what we offer. All of our team members, or every team member, has a different expertise, which, you know, lets the agent know, or excuse me, lets their client or potential client know that they can be their resource. And then when you go with me, or Adrienne in this case, you get, you know, whatever you get. So she is, you know, lists herself as a fantastic top producing agent, but you also gain an abundance of resources. So I just think making sure that you want to clearly communicate to your ideal client, your ideal avatar person, what you are going to do for them and what it's like working with them. Comments or questions about this Facebook page and the reasons why I like it. That doesn't mean that other people don't have great ones. This is just one I like because I love their use of video.
Well, let me ask about the video. I mean, that's very well done, you know, theirs. Obviously, it's professionally done.
Right.
Do you recommend that? And if you do, anybody that you recommend? I mean, I don't, other than taking
Lead with
videos of my
revenue.
daughter, I'm not a real videographer.
Yeah, so yes, Jeannie made a good comment. So I would say I definitely would encourage you, if you can, and you are in a position to have a professional video done, I can give you some leads to those if you are able to do that. However, I wouldn't shy away from utilizing, you know, if you're a Mac person, Mac has a great software that's already in there where you can create a short video. And I would say this, you can create a short, impactful video on your own. So there's different programs, and I can get a list and recommend them to you in terms of doing it on your own. The one thing that I would say is if you're doing it on your own to save resources, the number one thing I would say is this: keep it short and impactful. 30, 40 seconds, definitely under a minute. Even though you may not be this polished professional videographer, you can still have a wow factor with being as creative as possible. So what I mean by that is if you're a Mac user, you can definitely use Mac Video, and then just do a combination of either like a voiceover or you talking or at a property or whatever. Just be creative. Just let your creativity substitute for not being able to have a professional video. And then when you are able to financially to have a professional video, then do so. For me, in my business, I try to have a professional video done at least once or twice a year, because then that keeps me fiscally responsible, but then that also helps me to have a polished video like this. And I can send you 2 or actually 3 leads. And if everyone wants them, I can tell you right now, Archer Shots is good here. There's another gentleman, there's 2 others. I'm trying to see if I can find them really quickly. And if not, I'll send them to you. But yeah, so does that answer your question about the video piece of it?
Yeah, it'd be great if you can send those. That'd be great.
I will absolutely do that. And the other thing that I will say is don't discount a personal message from you. So you can do that on your phone. You can do that however you want to. it works. People get the message. So don't be afraid to have short videos about you talking about whatever it is you want to talk about. So don't discount that, because if you are consistent in that, people will receive that message, even if it's not in a polished format.
Well, look
Any
at
other-
TikTok. I mean, that's
exactly.
the best example of it. Those are not polished videos, huge followings. Well, some of them are you know, rehearsed, but most of them, the ones that have the biggest followings, tend to be just people doing their thing the way they do.
Exactly. And the other thing that I will say is be authentic, be yourself. If it's TikTok that you're using, or if it's, you know, just on your phone, just be you. You are the master at selling you. So be you. Don't be anyone else, but be you, and people will respond to that. Does that make sense? Comments or questions about anything about this Facebook page, cover pages in general, and then I'm going to talk through a couple of things as it relates to the actual ad. Anything? Okay. So let me go here.
So on that, while you're doing that, on the call I was on yesterday,
Uh-huh.
did you get the message? I know Robert was going, oh my God, this is fantastic. It's where you do the colon to get all the emojis.
Yeah. So
That was-
I
That was my nugget of the day.
Yeah. We try to, or it's for me, I try to give people the two options of how to get all of the emojis on their keyboard. Yeah.
Huh.
Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, but Robert hadn't even seen that. He was
Oh, he
surprised.
had?
No,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
yesterday. And I
Yeah.
went,
So
whoa,
for PC people, it's your Windows key and the colon.
yeah.
And then for Mac, trying to go off of memory. Oh my God, I'd have to see the keyboard for the Mac. But yeah, you can, for PC for sure, it's the Windows icon on your keyboard and the colon.
Yeah,
And then
fantastic.
it gives you all of your emojis. Yes.
And you
I
can
use it
search
all
and
the time.
everything. I mean, it was amazing. I'm just
Yeah.
going, thank you.
Yeah, I use it all the time, every day. Does everyone understand what we just talked about, the emojis and the shortcuts? I just want to make sure that we didn't deviate too much. Okay, so can you all see my command? Make sure.
Mhm.
Okay, so then for command, we want to go into consumer. Well, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. You can go into Facebook, or excuse me, not Facebook, but you can go into campaigns. And actually, let's do that. Let's go. The first one would, let's go backtrack. There's a couple of ways that you can do your your Facebook ads. The first thing you want to do, and just as a refresher, for those people that have not updated or do not have a Facebook cover page. So let's go in order. We talked about the Facebook business page. Just to clarify, you have to have a business page in order to advertise within Command. So I just want to stress that. The second thing is the cover page itself. So there's a couple of ways that you can do it. For the cover page itself, you can go into social, and then next.
You were in campaign first?
Yeah, so I backed up. So I went into designs. So, and I've got a frowny face. No,
Always.
no. Come on, you can do it. There you go. So I went into design. So I did say campaigns, but I wanted to backtrack because I wanted to make sure I was linear in my communication. So I went into designs first. And so within designs, you want to go into business basics. And then from business basics, social branding. And then here you can do your, you're going to lunch? Okay. So from here, you can do your Twitter cover if you're on Twitter, LinkedIn, and or Facebook. So within Facebook, what you want to do is you're looking for the template. You're looking for the layout that you feel speaks to your ideal client or whatever works for you. So I'm just going to click one at random. From here, once this pops up, then you change it to whatever you want it to be changed to. And because of the platform that Designs is on, you can change out your cover page. So, you know, if you want to try to do it like once a year, twice a year, you know, it'd be great to do it like once a quarter at the very least in terms of, you know, your Facebook cover, because that way you can be trendy in a sense of what's current in the market, you know, what's hot in terms of if there's a hot, you know, recently reduced prices. You can change your cover page based on, you know, the top 3 reduced properties in an area that you want to farm. So there's no limit to what you can do with your Facebook cover page. And because of Designs, it allows you to have the, you know, the graphic support, because that's one of the big things, as many of you know, as entrepreneurs, outside of Keller Williams and not having a platform like this, you have to rely on either your graphic design prowess and or somebody else that you have to pay to be able to create this type of, you know, content that you can create or collateral for free. So I just wanted to highlight that in terms of the cover page. Any comments or questions about this? You can also, don't be afraid, and let me take a step back. Don't be afraid to also use stock images. So if you don't have a listing of your own, you can either partner with a realtor that has a listing that you want to help them promote, or don't be afraid to just get stock images. So you can look either here and get stock images. So you can do like interior, you can do app images, you can do lifestyle. So don't be afraid, and we're gonna say no to Gary Keller, unfortunately, in the pop-up. And so don't be afraid to use those stock images to communicate whatever it is you want. And then the key thing is there's a reason why all of the marketing collateral has the logos of the DBAs on there. Make sure you have that call to action. You know what, you know, people can see a great image, but what do you want them to do with that? So making sure you have a simple call me, chat with me. I'm one chat away, I'm one click away. You know what I mean? So just making sure you do that. So that would be the cover page. And then once you have your cover page, you would save it. And then now we're going to go back. Let me move you down so I can get out of here. Then you want to go into campaigns. So then in campaigns, you can do a couple of things. You can go either to a paid ad or you can do a social post. So if you want to first do a social post, you can go in and figure out, you know, you can create your social post from here if that's what you want to do. And these are not paid, free. And you can click on here where it says create a new campaign. We want to do a social post. So then from here, it's going to give you everything that you type here to the left. I'm just going to say type is going to show up on the right. So then you just go through, you can upload a video, you can upload a photo or add a link or whatever it is. So you go through this process, you can schedule it out or publish immediately. If you schedule it out, it's going to confirm, or even if you publish immediately, it's going to confirm the date and time. And then here at the bottom, let me move you guys again. At the bottom, it's going to say select the pages. Again, here you want to make sure that you're in your business page. And then you would just simply save this and or as a draft, or you can schedule a post. And so I'm just going to say save. Hopefully allow me to save it. So that's going to save for me. So then that will be the social post. And again, whatever campaign you are going to run, whether that's, advertising a listing or just advertising you as an agent in terms of what you can do for them, make sure you're very linear in terms of priming that post to gain maximum exposure. So if you are promoting you're new to, real estate, then lead up to that so that you can maximize the effectiveness of that. The other thing is making sure you have proper hashtags, meaning that within your post, making sure you tag like words like Zillow, realtor, broker, first time housing, HRA, whatever it is, making sure that you tag appropriately, because I can tell you the more effective your tagging is, the more effective that campaign is going to be. And strategic tagging. And make sure you also vary when you, for example, let me take a step back. When you are posting either on Facebook directly and or Instagram directly, oftentimes you'll start, and you've probably seen this before, where you'll say hashtag and then whatever it is, hashtag Zillow. It'll show you the number of people that are following that. And so you want to mix that, meaning this. If you select a hashtag that has millions of followers, that's great. But keep in mind, you're competing with millions of people that are also using that. So vary it up. So if you're going to say hashtag Zillow, hashtag, sell me, something creative to where that's only, maybe 1,000 or 2,000, in terms of followers, because what you want to do is you want to mix that potential so you can appeal to a wider audience. That's one of the reasons why in the last 3 months for my business, again, my engagement level and my bookings and confirmed paid clients have increased 30 to 40% because I'm very strategic about what I'm doing. And not that I haven't been, but I've been more determined to maximize my platform. And for me, I chose Instagram as my method. You can choose Facebook or whatever. But I said to myself, actually during COVID, when it happened, I was like, I need to be very strategic. Which platform am I going to leverage? And I chose Instagram. And now I'm seeing 30 to 40% return for me in my pocket. So questions about social posts or anything that I've commented on thus far?
Oh, yeah, I do have a question.
Yeah.
So on this particular platform, I know you can schedule pictures, but will it allow you to schedule videos?
It should allow you to. If it doesn't, it should allow you to schedule the videos as well. The trick behind it is this. So first of all, look at or figure out. So if you're on Chrome and it doesn't work, try Firefox. If Firefox doesn't work, do incognito. I know that's a lot of tricks around it, but it should work. But if it's not working on Chrome, then try Firefox. And if not Firefox, do incognito. And it should work. Yeah. And does everyone know what I mean by incognito? Okay, just want to make sure. All right. Does that answer your question, Teresa?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I don't know how you get to incognito.
Okay. So for example, since I'm on Chrome, can you see me go where it says update?
Yep.
See my cursor?
Mm-hmm.
So when you pull that down, you can go into settings, and if it should have the incognito window right here. You see it? That I highlighted it in gray?
Yes.
Okay, so that's how you get to it. So you simply just go, if you're in Chrome or whatever browser you're in, just go to more or go to the 3 vertical dots and then click on that, and you should be able to go into incognito window from there. And then if not, you can always go into your settings if you don't see it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's talk about paid ads. It's a little slow. Okay. So paid ads. So going in linear fashion, you have your business page. You've worked on or tweaked your cover page. You revisited your bio to make sure that whatever campaign you're going to do, that your bio is relevant to that. Then you want to make sure you have your plan. So whatever your strategy is, whatever you're promoting, what's your plan of attack? You know, how long are you going to run it? And how is it going to benefit your target avatar, your target client agent? And so determine the length of it, and then once you determine whatever plan you have. So let's just go back to a listing. If you're going to promote a listing, then have 1 or 2 posts that prime that and to increase that. So what I mean by that is having, you know, a preview post or a commercial or whatever you want to call it, having those 1 or 2 commercials. Then you have your actual campaign, and then follow up on that campaign. Most of the times when you run a campaign, you don't have correlating posts that boost it up even more. So don't be afraid to do, once you launch your campaign, maybe within 24 hours, you have another post that talks about, hey, I'm running this campaign, just want to highlight something else about it. So having those multiple touches. So if you're going to run like a 7-day ad, have the first 2 days before, you know, advertising for it. Then you run a post. The next day after that, have another post that directly ties back to that launch. On the third day, do something different. Have a video, a short video. You know, the next day, do another post or do some kind of funny thing. You know, don't be afraid to also do polls. That's a huge thing. The other thing that I'll say from a marketing standpoint is never end your last communication with a period. What do I mean by that? You want to make sure you keep your people engaged. So you always want to end with some sort of question mark or, you know, food for thought or something. Don't end with a period. It's psychological, but it's true. Whenever, you know, for my business, whenever I'm meeting with people, when I'm engaged on an email correspondence level, I never end with a period. I always end with a question. I'm always asking them a question to engage them until they sign my proposal. I'm always ending with a question. So it's kind of psychological, but it's also effective marketing in terms of making sure that you're always, you know, giving them a hook, always saying, you know, stay with me to the end kind of thing. Comments or questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
When you're saying follow up are you talking about those all being paid posts?
No. So, and thanks,
I didn't think so.
for asking that. So yes. So what I mean by that is this. Let me go back and make sure it's very clear.
Yeah.
The free posts are free. The first or second one that before your paid ad, those are free. Then you launch your paid ad, and then you don't do another paid thing. All of your follow-up is free. All of the videos, the short video, you know, the teasers, the polls, all of that stuff, do it for free. The only time you ever pay is just for that paid ad. The rest of it is absolutely free.
If I may then, because I'm not clear here. So, okay, how could I put this? So I've created this paid ad, which goes all over the island, right? And then I follow up with my social posts that are just on my business page. So we're assuming and counting on whoever engages with the business page to then start following me. And
exactly.
That's why.
Because that's it's gonna link them.
So they're not connected.
So they should be, your paid ads is linked to your business page.
Right. No, right. But gotcha. I gotcha.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we're counting on them to, once they've engaged, to start paying attention to my business.
Exactly.
That's
exactly. Because it goes back to that, you know, you want to get them a call to action, but then what you're also doing, Jeannie, think about it this way. is there are people that are already following you that may not have seen your paid ad. So again, you're also tapping into those people that are following your business page that may not have seen your paid ad. So then you're also making yourself top of mind to them to say, you know, to kind of give them like that, you know, FOMO, like, oh my goodness, I didn't see your video or I didn't see your paid ad. You know, I need to go check this out. So you're creating that FOMO, fear of missing out, with people that are following you that may not have seen your ad, and vice versa, the people that have seen your ad. Because typically what happens is this: when you do a paid Facebook ad and then you don't do anything else from a free standpoint in terms of posting on your Facebook, people will see your ad and then go to your business page and there's nothing. So you want to make sure you have that engagement.
Oh, that may be my tip of the day. Thank you.
You're welcome.
3 after.
Yeah.
Can I add
That makes
something?
sense.
You get when you do an ad, it also shows you how many people are engaged with your ad, and you
Exactly.
can invite them to like your page, which I stress you invite. I mean, you just paid for them. So
Yeah.
you pick the demographic and you pick the geographic location,
Exactly.
and you know, and then invite them when they look at your ad. Invite them to come to you.
Exactly. So then now we're going to get into the actual paid portion. And so the one thing I'll say about this, you put in your campaign, and I'm just going to do another test. You'll put in your name, test, I'll just say 3. So then you can say advertise listing, advertise multiple listing. You can say whatever, but really this doesn't really affect anything. So you can select whatever. So don't be afraid and get caught up in, oh my goodness, what do I have to select? You can just say attract listing. So then I'm going to say, I'm going to add it on, run it on Facebook, and I need to move you guys because it's not showing me.
So this piece is just to be able to track and measure.
Exactly.
Track and measures what it is we're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not going to impact your ad. It's just going to qualify or categorize, you know, what you did, but it's not going to impact your ad per se.
Gotcha. I'm kind of curious because yesterday someone else said, and this is someone that's very, very, I'm curious your feedback. You know how we're always talking about, of course, we want the lion's share of the listings. You have to have both to have a healthy business, and so often we our goal is to get listings, of course, from our advertising. And this guy pointed out, he goes, you know, only 35% of these people are first-time buyers.
Mm-hmm.
So that means 65% of them already own a home. He goes, advertise to buyers. There's probably someone with a home to sell that comes along with that buyer.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting.
It is. And I think it's something that people don't necessarily think about, you know, consciously. And so, yeah, I totally agree with that.
Awesome.
So then here you go into, so if you wanted to do a listing, you can add a listing. So then you would just simply select whatever listing. And I'm just going to see if I can do.
Hey, while you're looking, can I ask you another question?
Absolutely.
I'm kind of curious, like if somebody calls me and says, I'm going to advertise your listing, I go, woohoo, you go. I love it. I have no problem with that at all. What kind of a percentage are you seeing? Because I asked to advertise someone's listing yesterday and said, oh no, we're already advertising. You can't have that one. And I don't get that, but what do you see? Do most listing agents say, oh yeah, go ahead and advertise, or
so I've been seeing
I just, it's interesting to me.
Yeah, so I've been seeing 50-50 in terms of some people, you know, are willing to say that because they're looking at it. And so here's the thing. There's different schools of thought, but here's one angle to look at it from a positive standpoint, from an SEO marketing strategy. So if I'm looking at it from this, I have a listing, let's say I have a listing. And you say, hey, LaTasha, I saw your listing and I want to, you know, can I use that to help me, you know, get the word out for you? The thing that most people that say yes are also thinking about is sphere of influence. So I've got my sphere of influence. Jeannie's got her sphere of influence. This is free advertising for me because Jeannie's not only advertising my listing, but Jeannie's also advertising me. So, and I know that can go both ways, but it's just about that larger sphere of influence that you have when you partner with another agent. But that also works for everyone else, that you can partner with other agents for multiple things. And so they're looking, one potential avenue is looking at from a sphere of maximizing your sphere of influence in terms of getting in front of people. And then there's other people that, it's their absolute fundamental right to say no on that. I like, how I'm doing things. I don't want that. So it just really depends on, how people see it. But I would say this for the agents that are newer and or agents that don't have listings, think outside of the box. If you can't or don't have access to a listing, then think about, farming a specific neighborhood or a specific area or a specific type of house. So if you know that, single family homes are really exploding, then focus on single family homes, just in terms of not necessarily the listing of it, but, what are people looking for in a single family home? So get into, look into a CMA in terms of what people are, when the average person is looking at a single family home, what is the average? And then advertise, sell to that. Or if it's a neighborhood that's up and coming, or a neighborhood that has, great school district, think outside of the box. Or a neighborhood that has, a music scene, or, people that are more into country life. Maybe they want to live in Makawa. So then target to that. So think outside of the box in terms of putting yourself in the buyer's shoe or the lister's shoe and say, okay, what can I do to show them that they can come work for me?
Yeah.
So,
one other interesting thing that I hadn't really realized was HUD homes are always available. You don't have to get permission for that. And actually, if you get permission advertising a listing, it's the broker, not the agent, just so you know. But you can advertise any HUD property.
Yes. And that's huge, especially with, the increase of people looking into into single family homes. Just with everything going now, people are realizing that, my whatever, where I'm living now may not be working from a work from home standpoint. So really just taking a look at what's trending, what's going on now, and market to that. So then if you go back from the listing, you go into your text, again, making sure that your text is to the point. It's, it's short, it's sweet, it's to the point. Basically, what is your purpose? What are you trying to sell? What are you trying to market? And specify on that. From a marketing standpoint, maybe have one sentence or two sentences that gets to the heart of what you want, and then just have a call to action. So this one says, thinking of selling, not sure if now is the right time. I can help, or we can help you find what your home is. Keep it short, sweet, and to the point. Have, at the end, have a call to action, definitely have the questions going, and just make sure it's short and sweet. And then your headline, be creative in that headline. If you're not a person that's, automatically creative, Google it. Google creative taglines, creative subjects. Find a way to make sure the headline works. I did a recent campaign for holiday decoration, and my clever line was, don't get your tinsel in a tangle. I had so many people just click on it and told me that they clicked on it because of the title. So don't, if you're not creative like that, Google it. Find, or use somebody else's and just tweak some words here and there and make it your own. And then whatever your description is, have your description there. And then you want to save it. If you want to add media, you can confirm it. Then you get down to here, you can hit configure your ad. So let me see if it'll let me, yep. So here, this is crucial. Whenever you're doing a Facebook ad, you want to make sure that you have the correct page. You want to make sure you have your account. So then page, it should come up. and you pick the page that you want. Then you could either have use Facebook lead generation form. I typically stick with that unless you're doing a specific separate landing page site. You can do that. Then you have your call to action button, learn more, or whatever you want to choose. And then you can do a follow-up URL if you want. The key thing is the targeting ad. So then you can use a custom setting if you want. You can toggle it on, and then you can add a specific, interest. Here's where you would type in, first-time home buyer, Zillow, whatever it is in terms of the interest. And so you can add this, and let's do Zillow. So then you just keep adding. Did I not add it, or did I? I didn't save. Oh. Or did I? Oh yeah, I didn't give it time. I was too fast. Sorry. So make sure you don't do what I do. Make sure you wait for it to populate, and then you just keep adding to that. We can add another one, and we can see if it'll say first time. See if it'll load. And if not, we can shorten this. So it didn't come up. Let's just say buyer. So first time buyer, there we go. So we're gonna click it, save it, and then you just keep adding. You see how here it's going to the estimated audience. And so let's do another one. Let's say cooking. I know it sounds random, but there's a reason. Will it come up? Let's see. Chef. And that's bizarre that it didn't come up. So again, mixing it up. So remember what I said at the onset, where you got your estimated audience for Zillow is 34. Then first time is underneath that, it's 24. And then you've got 5,000 or so million, for a realtor. So I'm varying up the target audience so that I can increase the SEO in terms of how that ranks and comes up. So the more that I can dial down on this, that's what I was trying to get to, like a chef. Or let's say, let me do this. Let me try this. Let me try one more thing. Oops. See if that'll come up. There we go. So then again, I'm varying it up so I can get dialed in, and maybe, what I'm focusing on, let's say, for example, I'm doing a listing and maybe this listing has an amazing kitchen. So then I'm going to leverage that specific target buyer that's really looking for that gourmet chef type of kitchen. So then that's what we would do for that. So comments or questions in general, then you can either save this to continue to work on it. And then you would also make sure that you need to run this by your broker and Michelle for approval. And I just want to say yes until you're ready to hit send. So comments or questions about anything that we've talked about or covered today? Don't all speak at once because it gets so overwhelming.
This was really good. Thank you.
Good. So that's kind of the wrap up of today. I really wanted to highlight, just the marketing strategy behind it, making sure that you're very strategic in your Facebook campaign, circling back on making sure you have a business page, talking about, making sure you look at your bio from time to time, having an effective use of your cover page, integrating video, and then having a strategy behind not just doing a paid ad, but having, a free post to advertise the ad, run the ad, and then following up with, sprinkled with free posts that direct people back to that ad. So you want to make sure that you're leveraging your efforts. So I will say this, I'm available, Robert's available for one-on-one for those of you that want to either have us help you with it or having someone to bounce ideas off of in terms of effectiveness. We are here to help. Email Tech Concierge or Robert directly, and I can always pass the message along to him. But we are here to help you. I hope that gave you an aha, whatever that was for you. But definitely, whether or not you're going to do any professional videos, start, sprinkling videos as best as you can. And then I will also email you all the 3 people that I recommend for videos. But of course, Maxify's free as well. Anything else, comments or questions? Don't be shy, I'm here.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you very much. I did send you a private chat. Just
Okay, all right, I'll check it out.
I
Thanks.
send you an email as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
Guys.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
Thanks everybody
Thank you.
for joining, and I'll get the video out shortly.